Everything looks good. Everything looks good and sounds good. We gotta go here. That live. That is the sound of going live. What do we have here? This is T. That is me enjoying delicious coffee. Yes, enjoying delicious coffee. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Thomas Gerard. Thomas, in the UK. What time is it there? Oh yeah, it's allowed. Is it 10 after 10 p.m. in the United Kingdom? Is that Universal Coordinated Time? Is that Zulu time? I don't know what that time is, but welcome, Thomas, who's very good. Gil, hi Gil, how are we sounding? Oh, you know what? Let me double check my sound because I keep doing stuff. Yes, mix pre 10, awesome. Camera, awesome. Looks like all systems are go here, everybody. 10:15, yes. Okay, 10:14, yes. You are faster than me. Oh, so much too. Thomas Gerard, you're in Orange County of California, which means it's not 10:10 p.m. It means it is much earlier. It is actually my time. Let me see. I have so many phones on me now because I have an old phone. That's this phone. And let's look at this phone, this new phone. Today we are going to. Let me see. I might have to unplug a wire. No sound, crackling on YouTube. Okay, let me try something, folks. Let's see if that sounds better. So interesting. Let's see if that sounds better, everybody. There's only so many things I can do. Tom Caldebiano here. Everybody Loves Raymond 360, ELR 360 Live. Every Sunday we talk about all things Everybody Loves Raymond. Yes, much better. There we go. The ticker. I don't know what that ticker is. I've never seen that. A ticker. Create a banner. Use banners. Oh, I don't know what just happened. What just happened? That's so weird. I lost all the comments. Let's go here. I lost all the comments. That's such a weird thing. So let's click on this. There we go. Now we are back. Gil, much better now. Okay, so that is just the nature of the beast. I had to unplug a wire and plug it in, and I am exhausted from doing all of that troubleshooting. I think I'm going to have to get a professional haircut soon instead of me cutting with scissors right across the front of my head. Okay, let's just do that. Okay. I posted a picture, everybody, of a scene with Sherri Shepherd in the kitchen, at the kitchen table. And it's very interesting for me, the responses, not because people know the show extremely well, better than me, on what aired. It's not the responses, it's the nature of the people. Because some people are very confident. Never aired. And then some people are like, I've seen every episode. I don't remember this episode. Interesting, because you would think that I would remember every episode. That's kind of the polite, not stepping on too many toes type of response there. And it's all over the map. So that picture, let me just see if I can find it. Let's see this. And now let's do this. I'll go to Instagram, which I find very reliable. Okay, so this picture which I posted, okay, Instagram, right there for our Instagram friends. Look at that. That's Steve Messias, who looks like Fonzie. We know that. And I got to zoom. Let me just zoom in. So that says tag 2. You can see it. What happened is I was going through my photos and I saw that picture on the proof sheet, which I look at with a little loop. There's a loop in my office probably that we can bring out here. And I was like, I personally don't remember this scene in any way at all, doesn't ring a bell. And so I'm like, let me see. So let me do this. What is this? What could this possibly be from? And now let's scroll back. So here was a reel. This is a reel. Reel means it plays. So here, there you go, Instagram. How's that? So two different scenes, two different shots from the same. Let's play that again. With audio now. A little T for two playing. So that's two shots from in the kitchen, Marie serving something. So you are all, so there's a lot of guesses, and I really pray to, I don't make fun of every of the guesses. So people are like, it must be a rehearsal. It must be, if you don't know the process, it makes sense because they're in street clothes and they were in the going out to Edda's clothes when it aired. Let me just do this a little bit. There we go. Get that a little out of frame. Is that way? Okay. So then I go, let me go. Now, let me go back to the original scripts. I have a hard copy, as we all know. I saved from the dumpster a hard copy of every single script from every single episode. But I also have a digital copy of every single episode from the table draft to the shooting script. And do I have all of them? There's something called as broadcast. So why as broadcast? Who cares? The show is completely done and in the can, as we say in showbiz. And so why, Tom? As broadcast, somebody has to write the closed captions. So as broadcast is, here's everything that was made in editing. And so that has to align because there's a closed caption file that has to be supplied to a company. And that closed caption company sits there and puts it in. So when you see closed caption, everything lines up correctly. That's why I know on many shows you see completely wrong words for what you're hearing. And that's usually something now in a current AI type of status where it's not accurate. It's just interpreting through AI. But back in the old days, in the antique days of Everett Raymond, they had a human being, they're called, sit there and watch the episode, type out the words, do that file, take that file, hand deliver it to some person, and then that gets made into a file which gets uploaded. So when you hit the CC on there, that's what pops up. Okay, so I have all of those copies digitally sitting there at my fingertips. I can look up stuff. So I said, okay, let me look up and see. And sure enough, what I found revealed today for the first time ever. I'm going to hold this up to the screen, but then don't worry, folks. I'm going to read it. Okay. Robert's date, tag number 2, but it only says tag in the script, okay? So I will now read a script as we would if we were writing a script. This is what you're about to hear is me reading a script the same way I would if I was, here we go, Instagram, backing up a little bit. This is the script. Okay. Raymond used to always make this joke. Interior, because that's what most of them start with. Tag. Again, on the slate, it said tag 2. In real life, on the script, it says tag. Okay, so let me just read this here. Let me do this as a bigger, there we go. There's a slightly, interior, tag, fade in. Interior, Ray and Deborah's kitchen, night number 3. Night number 3, that's how, it's day number 3. So it's the third night. So it's 3 days of the show took place over 3 days. Not the filming of the show, the episode took place over 3 days. So, for example, the suitcase full of cheese, that episode had a lot of Ray recounting his story. So it would have to, in those, and I'll read those someday, it has to go back and forth and kind of say, well, it'll be interesting to see what it says, but it might say 3 weeks earlier or the day later or 2 days later, stuff like that. So that is all stuff that has to be kept track of. Okay, let me do this. Let me just adjust this a little bit to there. Okay, there we go. Now, interior. Ray and Deborah's kitchen, night 3. Ray, Deborah, Marie, Frank, Robert, Judy. Okay, Judy in there. Let me go over here for our Instagram people. There we go. Deborah, Ray, Frank, Judy, Robert are at the kitchen tables. Okay, so the line I just read before, I'm going to show it to you. That's who's in the scene. All right? Sorry, Instagram, I can't get you all in there. That's who's in the scene, and then it gives an action line. That's what the next one is. What is the action? And it has to take place in present tense. So they had been, it's all then. Deborah, Ray, Frank, Judy, and Robert are at the kitchen table eating dinner. Marie is serving food. Marie to Judy, would you like some more, dear? I don't do an impression of anybody, except for maybe Raymond. Would you like some more, dear? This is my homemade manicotti. Judy says, this is so good. Takes another mouthful, loving it. Holy crap. Frank lights up. Hey, you're all right. Have some peppers. As everyone eats happily, we cut to, fade out, end of show. So not cut to, but fade out, end of show. Here you go, folks. There we go. This is so good. Taking another mouthful, loving it. Holy crap. Frank lights up. Frank, hey, you're all right. Have some peppers. Okay, so there we go. What happened? They filmed that scene. We filmed it live. We're like, okay, that's a funny scene. Frank, what is the significance of the scene? Because Phil wouldn't, even though everything is played for laughs, it always has to be what Phil would say is at least on story. Unless it's a hysterically funny thing, a tag. But for the most part, you want it to pay off something. So this is Frank and Marie, who are kind of, without saying it, resistant to the entire idea, coming around to Judy. But my guess is, and we'll talk to Phil next time he is on, what did it end with? Does anybody know what it ended with? Does anyone know what Robert's date, the episode of Everett Raymond, ended with? I will tell you. The version that I saw ended with Robert dancing in the club. Okay? Robert dancing in the club. And I think because that's a very well-written scene, we would enjoy seeing Judy at the table. We like the fact that these maybe somewhat stubborn, maybe a little bit closed-minded parents have come around, and it's through food that they bonded. But Phil probably was like, you know what? Robert dancing in the club is about as funny as a scene as you're going to see. So that's what's at the end of Robert's date. So it was shot, intended to be aired. My guess is Phil made that decision and was like, you know what? It's just too funny in the club. Let's use that footage and let's just have that, as we would say, like a callback. So is he wearing the same clothes that he was in the earlier scene? Yes. As you would say in the writer's room, you can't take back the laugh, meaning if they've laughed at it and then they go, oh my God, that's so funny. But wait a minute, did he go back to the club? When did he go? It doesn't matter. You're out of the show and you've already gotten the laugh that you were looking for. So there you go. Mystery solved. Robert's date, scene, filmed for the tag, not ever aired. I don't know where that footage is. I would love to get a hold of that footage. Somewhere deep in a vault at the CBS salt mines is probably that footage just laying there, hoping that someone like Tom or one of our guests find out who it is. Okay, let's say hello, Tom. You jumped right into it, didn't you? Okay, let's scroll back to the top. Tom Caltabiano here. Everybody loves Raymond. Saying hello, telling a great story. Okay, let's scroll down. Static, hopefully it's still cleared. No static, yes, catching up. Much better, thank you. Hello, Janet from Marshfield. Hello, Marie. Hi, Donnell. No kitchen scene with Sherri. That was the one where Robert joined the cult. Interesting. Unplugging a wire is the only solution to tech problems. Haha, yes. Hi, Lynn Van Orden, maybe. Robert joined the cult. I can hear you. So glad you retrieved the episodes. Yes. Hello from Toronto. Hi, Lynn in Toronto. Hi from North Carolina, Karen. Hi, Kim. Anita. Hi, Anita. I am well. I see the yellow canister behind you. Let me see. Yes, there it is. It snuck up behind me. By the way, it has its own highlight. Let me see. Because we could do this with AI. But it has its own spotlight on there. And so does the fork and spoon do too, but it's a little dark today. I turned it down, I think, too much. Yes, hi. Oh, here, I can bring up some of these comments. Yes, Brad Garrett is a phenomenal dancer. Robert is a phenomenal dancer. Yes, hello. Yay, Robert's date. Finally, we have the answer. Now I can sleep. Yes, Annabelle, you are one of the few people who have seen so many filmings that you could understand the dynamic of film it and then maybe it doesn't air. And so off of that, since Annabelle has chimed in, I'm going to show this. It's kind of recapping, I would say, of the week. I posted a picture of Annabelle sitting with her friend on the couch. By the way, Annabelle, I deliberately leave out people's names and tags and stuff because I don't want people. You're welcome to identify people, but very often I will leave out a person's name because I just don't want people going, oh, let me contact them and say I'm a friend of Raymond's or something like that, and then they get bothered by a bunch of people besides me. So I posted this picture. So just so everyone knows what we're talking about, there is Annabelle with her friend on the couch with Peter Boyle, and they're chatting. So what happened? This is very rare, by the way. You in general didn't get a chance to mingle with the cast. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Instagram. There's Annabelle. There's Peter, and Annabelle's friend, who you identified. And how many pictures did I take? Oh, you know what I did find, Annabelle? I found a picture of you returning to your seat. It's kind of blurry, but I would want to have that. And I have a follow-up. If any of you, well, remind me to talk about the Rich Eisen show, which a lot of people have never heard of. He is a big deal in sports. If you don't watch sports, you're not really going to know him that well. He's not going to be familiar to you, but he's a great guy and really good interviews with Raymond and Seinfeld and obviously a bunch of sports stars. So with Annabelle had come to a lot of shows. So at that point, she was kind of a known person. So she came down on the floor. Usually, you film a show, the audience is unlimited at that point, which I think may be out of business. They would, as soon as the show ended, it'd be like, okay, we have to usher these 200 people off the lot. You can't have people running around like cats and dogs, just running all around the lot for security reasons. So I guess Annabelle cleared all the security clearances, and she came down on the floor, and Peter was nice enough to go down and chat with her. And I think you were mentioning that his father was getting inducted. His father did children's entertainment in the Philadelphia area. My Philadelphia friends will know about Peter Boyle's father. So that was very unusual for Annabelle to be able to sit. So the cat I don't want people to think like, if I had gone, I would have hung out with. And generally people were busy, and also the script landed in their dressing room for the next day. So the giant event, filming, all this stuff. The next morning, they're sitting back at that table ready to read their lines. So the actors in general, once the show really got going, season 3, 4, 5, they left. They wasn't, at the beginning we would celebrate, okay, and hang out and drink. But once we knew the show, and then, some of us would drink, I guess. And speaking of drinking, here we go. The AIS mug, and what am I drinking? What am I drinking? I can't identify it. Okay. Oh. Awesome. There you go, folks. This is Well Now Tea. I get no sponsorship. Well Now Tea Company Fine Teas Chamomile Tea. Just what you want to see before you talk to people and try and be excited and exciting. So there you go, a chamomile tea. Who drinks chamomile tea? Super tasty. It's super tasty, but don't worry, folks. I get my caffeine from a lot of different places. So, who saw the Rich Eisen show? Raymond. I went with Raymond to the Rich Eisen show. Let me see. What would that date have been? So many photos. I think we figured out I have 400,000 photos on my phone. So the Rich Eisen show, we go there, and It's a giant studio. It's the biggest studio I've ever seen for a guy talking to another person in a corner. A beautiful, beautiful, amazing place. Okay, so we go there. All right, those I want to find. Yes, and now let me see this. Okay, so, yep, here's the story I'm going to recount. Okay, so for those of you that might or might not have seen it, there is Raymond with Rich Eisen. It's a giant, giant room. And so a lot of times I will tell you this story. Remind me to tell you this story about Patty's cooking show. Okay, here's a bigger, let's see. Here you can see kind of the real estate. Whoops, hit the mic. All right, there you can see, that's 1/4 of the studio, and I'm sitting on a couch. At one point, and Rich said, take as many pictures as you want, all this, very, very friendly. And so we're sitting there, and almost at the end, a guy says to, Rich says, hey, Raymond, do you know, oh, actually, this is cool. This is a panoramic of the entire studio. So here, sorry. There you go. Look at the size of that studio, okay? There's a guy with I don't know who has the cowboy hat on, the bust of somebody, the statue. And by the way, just if you're like, Tom, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'll do this so you can see. There is Raymond and Rich Eisen, okay? And then if you zoom out, you see how little they are. Sorry, Instagram people. You can see how little they are in the corner, okay? So that's how much real estate there is, very, very rare. So a guy who's sitting there says to, all of a sudden, Rich says, Ray, do you ever know somebody who seems to know everybody? He knows everybody, and there's one point of separation. And Ray goes, yeah, I think I know that. What's the point Rich is making? His sound guy worked on Everybody Loves Raymond. He worked temporarily, so he temporarily, occasionally, okay, not temporarily. That sounds very funny. And so he holds up a picture that he has of the 100th anniversary episode. Let me see if I can find this. Yes, so this gentleman holds up this picture. Now, Ray's not going to remember a guy who worked on a couple of episodes, and that guy right there he is. I should have him on the show. Mike Del Tufo is his name, and he's from New Jersey. And so he's showing Ray this, and then Ray, while Ray's talking on camera, he goes, Tom worked as a writer on the show. And so after the show, and maybe on the show, I don't remember, I go, I took a lot of pictures. So here, he's holding this picture. And the frame says 100th episode, okay? So there he is in the back wearing the hat. Now, I know all of these people because I spent every day with them, or most days for a long time. So there he is in the back. So I said to him, Mike, if you were there more than once, chances are, here we go. Here's Ray's brother. There we go. Rich Eisen, myself, and Raymond. Sorry, hunting for focus. So I said to this guy, listen, if you were there for more than one episode, I bet you I have a photo of him. And so I started looking, and sure enough, I have a picture, which I sent to him, which he was excited about. On the set, there he is during... You can't guess from this picture an episode, or otherwise you're a savant. From Pet Cemetery, and that is Tim Fistler, who was one of the sound guys, and that is the guy Mike, who was at the Rich Eisen show. And then I found this. Just took a single shot of him, black and white, just standing there, kind of looking. So there you go. A little mystery solved. And I have to do this. Annabelle, I know who she is. I have hundreds of pictures of people who were related to somebody or who knows what, affiliates of networks, and I have I have pictures of them with the cast, and they may never have seen them. So I'm going to start a page to try and help people locate all of these photos of them on the cast, which would be nice to have. Like if I visit a show and somebody took a picture, that would be awesome. Okay, let's go to some comments, everybody. Look at the time. Look how much fun we're having. Okay. Annabelle, let me bring that up. That day, Peter was on the set waiting to be interviewed about his father being inducted into the Broadcast Pioneers of Philadelphia Hall of Fame. We said hello to him, and he invited us to sit down with him. Peter was a very gentle, sweet man. So it does not surprise me at all. Let me see. Yes, we are all envious of Annabelle. They also shoot all the sports shows from the set. Hi, Danielle, Monique, Whitman. Do you please enlighten us some more? I mean, that sounded sarcastic, but they had a corner and it looked like they shot. So it's used a lot. I didn't want to make fun. I was just saying, and I will tell you now about Patty's did a food show. So let's see. And this. Hi, Tom. I had switched to Facebook because Instagram froze. It's not working. Let me go back to Instagram. It might have come back. Let me see this. Let me scroll up on Instagram. Catching up. Hello. Hi from Brazil. Hi, Sartori from Brazil. Hi from San Gabriel, California. Closer. Hi, Tom. Happy Sunday. Hi, Pat Engston. I didn't have to give that. Sounds very scratchy. Okay, that's the beginning. I'm assuming this is all catching up on this. You are frozen. It stopped working on Instagram. Okay. I'd prefer not to be, don't do that. I prefer not to be known as the whore, incorrect spelling on purpose. No to Cousin Gerard. Very good. That's really good, Becca. I'm impressed. Gerard and the Iron Horse of Lynbrook was on this week. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Instagram is working. Okay, now it's working. All right, back to Facebook. Here we go. Patricia Heaton's food show. I have a question for you, Tom. There were a lot of scenes with Marie cooking. Was she a good cook? You know, I saw her on an interview show years ago, and she said she doesn't cook. Obviously, I talked to her, but I'm just saying I talked to her, every day when I saw her. But I never said, Doris, are you a good cook in real life? But I saw an interview with her talking about cooking, and I can't remember. It was a big food show. It might have been Martha Stewart. And she was saying, I cooked a lot when her son, Michael Kanata, was small, but I don't cook much anymore. So I don't know. Doris was one of the hardest working people in show business, constantly working, constantly talking about a project that she was on, etc. So I don't know how good of a cook Doris had been. She was married to an Italian man, which I hear Italians do like cooking and food. So there you go. Excellent question. Hello from Scotland. Yes, Annabelle's one of the ELR 360 experts. Now, Annabelle, you posted about the code. Okay, so for everybody, the slate, that electronic slate, let me see if I can bring that up again. That is tied for sound sync ever since they started doing sound in the 20s, 10s, when was it, the teens? It's operated the same way. There's a slate, and it comes down, and it makes a noise. And then when you're editing, you see a sound wave spike. And then you put the sound in there, and you see the guy's clapper, the slate, coming together, and you line up that spike with the picture of the clapper coming together. That's how you synchronize sound. It has been that way forever. So when they come in with that, even though it's cliche and people are like, why do they use that? So that has been for time immemorial, since the beginning of all things with sound and picture having to be synchronized. So let's see this. Let's do this. Going here. Let me just go to Instagram. That is the best way to look at my own photos. So Steve is holding the slate right there. And on it says usually the director, the name of the episode, and an internal code, okay? So on the internal code, let me see, do I have a script here? Let's see. Is this script? See, I can't give it away now because this might be a guessing script. Okay, how do I do this? So this has an internal code of 0401. And that code is usually written on the slate. Now I have to make sure that the internal code on the slate is the same as the internal code on a script. And I'll explain that code to you in a second. Here, let me put this over here. I'm running out of shelf space. Okay, there we go. So Annabelle was saying it's this episode. So I have to find out the internal code of Robert's date. Which do I want to take the time to look at it? Look it up. A guy looking up things on a computer. Let's say, what are things we don't want to watch for 4,000? Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's see. What is this script? This script is Fun with Deborah. Okay. Does it have the internal code on here? No. So I'm looking at a digitized script. No internal code on the script that I read. That gives you guys, that lets me know if there's a deleted scene or something. So that's what Annabelle was trying to deduce, but it wasn't lining up. So I will look at that, Annabelle. I will look up a close-up of that slate and see what the actual episode code was. So there we go. I'm creating a giant database of so we have the name of the episode, the script number, the name, the date it shot, which is not public knowledge. The day it aired is very much public knowledge, easily searched. Okay. I may have mentioned this story before, but the Rich Eisen thing, they were so nice to me. Patricia Heaton had a cooking show. And obviously I know Patty very well. When we did the Instagram Live with her, I said, Patty, just do it from your house. This was the end of COVID, but, I said, just do it from your house. You don't have to come to my house. She said, no, I want to come to your house. So I'm friends with Patty. She has a cooking show, and I go with Ray's wife and Phil's wife are on it, Ray's real-life wife, because his TV wife is the host. And so I go, okay, I will come and take pictures. And I show up, and I'm on the set, and I have to find those for just a few minutes, and they ask me to please get off the set. And so I go, okay, and as you might be able to tell, those of you who've listened to me for 5 years, I am not an in-your-face forcing my way into situations person. So I'm like, okay, but I know how to take pictures on a set and I can play back and I don't have to. And, the rub is they've already asked me for photos of people who are on the show to use in their show. So they've used my photos from Everest Raymond for their show. And so the producer was like, nope, you can't be on the set. And it was filmed in a house. And that's what they would do with her show. I was on a Valerie Bertinelli cooking show, and they rent out a house and they shoot in a house, not in Valerie's house, not in Patty's house. So I was there and they said, nope, you must leave the set. So I was like, okay. And I'm a fairly busy person. So I was like, that means I can't shoot photos. I can watch it on TV from a room in another room. And I was like, okay, I took a few photos. I will leave. And so it felt a little bit bad because I know I would have gotten great photos of that shoot, but the producers didn't know I was just a guy, an annoying guy with a camera. So I don't have great episode photos from that other than when I first walked on the set. And the Rich Eisen thing, that's why it was the opposite. He's like, sit anywhere, take as many pictures as you want, and enjoy yourself. So there you go. A nice little anecdote about that. And don't worry, I don't hold any animosity. Patty, I didn't want to make a big stink, so it wasn't like, Patty, why don't you let me? It's like there is a point where it's not that important. Okay. Hi, Rebecca from Lynbrook, New York. Yes. In A Date for Robert, I don't remember Marie giving Judy manicotti. Yes, Meredith, because that scene was never aired. That scene never aired. It did. Patricia Heaton won a daytime Emmy for Patricia Heaton Parties. Yes. Tony, you joined Facebook, Instagram not working out. Yeah, Instagram is not so good. Let's scroll back up. Amy was rough around the edges in season 1. She became softer in season after season 1. Interesting. Which writer came up with the word idiot for Deborah to say? I use it often, so useful. That is a great question. I don't know how that originated, and you have to, Patty was able to pull it off because she's very likable, and when she's angry, she's likable. She doesn't seem And so, sorry, some people, oh, I just see another light that I have to turn on. Let me turn that on. Is that going to block this? I could do it because I want to show you some other stuff. But Patricia Heaton was able to pull that off. So one thing that she can do as a character is be super mean and, and be likable. And you felt that she loved Ray no matter how much she complained. Okay, I want to show you this thing also. This I was gifted. This is a scanner for my film, folks. All of these things, Judy in that scene, it was a negative. So I had to take that, put it into a device, scan it, convert it, clean it up, etc. So it takes time. So this was gifted to me, and I'm hoping that it will work, in which case I'll be able to scan more photos and share with you. That will be the victory. Okay, if I get up now, let me see. I don't know if anyone's listening here, but let me just see. There, by the way, the canister, we've just, wow, how's the time fly? So we've determined that I eat the snack last. Okay, folks, that is the genuine canister. Genuine American metal. Beats a house. There you go, as Frank would say. Okay, let me just flick. The lighting's gonna change. Let me just see this. Let me just walk over here. Don't worry, folks. I'm not leaving. There we go. So what that does, okay. That's called that's a little bit of an eye light. It makes you less the shadows, etc. Wow, how much do I have to drink here? Delicious. All right, time to guess. I'm wondering if there's another script out there that's, well, let me see. Am I getting the text? Hold on. I love going live. Let me see a text from some of my friends. Oh, Instagram is down. Okay. And Tom, you're a little bit boring. I would try and make it more interesting. Okay, that text wasn't necessary. All right, here we go. Facebook, everybody. Sorry, I can't control Instagram. Let's see. Shows that it's live, but yeah. Instagram tends to be wonky a little bit sound-wise, etc. All right, let me see what other. Let me just see this. And then this. Okay, I did. So one of the things I've commented on before, there's a ton of AI photos of the cast holding signs saying who loves our show, who wants to see a reunion, rumors of a reunion, all this stuff. It's all AI generated stuff. And one of the telltale giveaways is Patricia Heaton is about 8 inches shorter than Brad Garrett. Okay, and I've posted those pictures of them standing next to each other. So you see this discrepancy. And, I showed a lot of these to Raymond, and it's just shocking for him to see because he's in them. And you're like, that is not Ray, but it looks really close to Ray. So just that heads up. I know I've talked about it before, but all these things where it's Brad and Ray are going to do a reunion, stay tuned. It's all, AI generated stuff that people try and get people to respond. And I feel bad because people do give me a heart if you love our show, and there's a lot of hearts, and I love the show, but I feel bad because it's like people are taking advantage of that. So, what are you going to do? What will you do? Okay, let me just see something here. Let me catch up before I go away. Facebook is always better anyway because it's a wider shot. So on Instagram, if it's working now, you see just my head, and on Facebook you can see a wide shot. Thank you, that's awesome. Let me see. Yes, idiot. So some people don't like her calling him an idiot. So Lynbrook America, yeah. In season 1, she used the term of endearment freak for Ray. I think it happened only once. Idiot worked so much better. Kim, you are probably right. You are probably correct. Okay, let me just check this. My hubs and I'm going to say that's short for husband, Rebecca Palazzolo Conti. My hubs and I find small one-liners that seem to have been added to the syndication episodes versus the originally aired episodes. Now, that would be interesting to keep track of those. I can't speak to that. I'm not so sure. Sorry, when I say I'm not so sure, what generally happens is when the show aired on the network, it's as long as it would ever be. Then on TV Land, for example, they're like, let's make some more money, let's put in some more commercials. Then they cut the show down. So a lot of people, for example, the canister is the perfect one. People are like, hey, the canister is at Deborah's. Everybody, the canister's at Deborah's. And what they didn't see is it got returned to Deborah. Marie walked over at the end, and that's usually what gets cut. Okay. All right. Let's see. Is there something? No information. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So yes. Oh, it looks much better. I forgot to turn the light on, and now it's on. All right. Let me see. Which one have we not guessed yet? This is where Tom holds up Polaroids, and we see who can guess it. Well, I don't think I've done this one. If I have done this one, it's been a long time. That one's going to be easier. Let me try this one. See, what happens is, this is the best thing. For Ray, his wardrobe is almost the same in every single episode. So when you go, oh, what's Ray wearing? Jeans, flannel shirt that's open. You go, oh, I know that episode because it's every episode. And so when there's a guest cast, when I can only get so far. And Ray is the star of the show, so his are the first ones. Okay, so here we go, folks. Tom Caldabiano, writer on Embers Raymond, holding up a wardrobe script that I rescued from the dumpsters. First picture, let's see what we got here. Raymond wearing a t-shirt with pants. Okay, if you name it from this, folks, you deserve an award. Okay, let's see this. Oh, this is tricky. There's some clues in here. There are some clues in here. Okay, let's do this. Let's see this. Okay. I see my eyes have to be out, then it'll focus. Raymond, that's a tell, boy. You guys. Now, the good thing is on Facebook, I can see who's guessed what. There we go. This, Raymond wearing another outfit, right? That outfit, and then that outfit. Okay. I feel bad because the front page is falling off of this piece of television history that I'm handling. Let me see. Is that all of Ray's? Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to check. See how people are doing. Peter Boyle, Frank, character, Marie visible in the background. Peter Boyle, there smiling. Again, Peter Boyle, Marie in the background. Okay, let's see if anybody has a guess. Okay, yeah, let me see before I show this one. That exhale was like, there's clues, of course, because I know. Hello, Marie has a black ring she wore on seemingly all episodes. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. TV Land is brutal, so many ads. Yes. Did Marie wear her own jewelry? Seldom did she wear her own jewelry. Let's see this. Right. Yes. Okay. Yes, Lisa. A lot of pictures have 6 fingers on one hand. Yes, that is a tell. Yes, let me see. Going this. Hers ended up watching. She will always be wearing. Let me see. Sorry. Her clothes. Yeah, so just somebody asked that of me before. The clothes. At the end of the show, Mary Ellen Boucher said that Patty took almost nothing, if not nothing, clothing-wise from the show, and Doris Roberts took almost everything because there were so many shirts that were custom-made for her from materials that were sourced, antique, is that what they say? Older materials that were sourced and then custom-made for her. So Doris Roberts took a lot of her wardrobe, and I don't want to speak inaccurately, but Mary Ellen Boucher was like, yeah, there was a truck to get all of her wardrobe from the show. Patricia Heaton, very little. So there you go. And Raymond, a little bit. I'll have to ask Ray. Deborah gave me permission to call my husband. Yes, as long as it's made with love. Yes, Smelly Tramp, good. Do that at your own risk. I love the way they decorated Allie's room, which is very good. Let me see. Hi, Kathy Pine. My chemo brain is strong today. Can't think of anything. Well, I wish you well. He's in the kit. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Bringing that up. What you're hearing. Yes, 4 weeks until Austin. Unfortunately, the I Love Lucy script reading I was hoping to go to is Sunday at 1:30, and I would miss my flight. Oh, they're reading an I Love Lucy script. So for what Kim is talking about is there's a TV festival in Austin. It's every year. I've been there a few times in the past. Raymond and Philip Rosenthal are doing a thing on May 30th with the writers, some of the writers of Raymond, myself included. So there you go. But that's interesting. A reading of an I Love Lucy script. Fantastic. Rita, let's see, Rita. I'm not seeing any guesses yet on this episode. So, yes. Right when I said that, I'm proven wrong. Turkey or fish episode. It's a tough to tell from the with. Okay, there's a symbol in front of that. Let me bring that up and then go back. It's tough to tell from the pictures what that scene is. Okay, yeah, there's a couple scenes so far. Let me I'll bring up the photos. The canister is so sturdy it survived so much abuse, i.e. Allie's crayons. The garbage can with Deborah repeatedly sitting on it. The garbage can outside. It fell down the stairs. Raymond's jacket with the title. Yes, the canister is pretty tough cookie. Nice, funny, excellent. Excellent, Rita. You are correct. Okay, let me show a few more photos, and then you guys will, let's see this. Okay, I think if I'm getting texts, you can point at your phone. Okay, here we go. Peter Boyle. And now Brad Garrett. Yes, Brad Garrett. That's kind of more of a tell because he's in a formal thing. I know I'm doing this quickly, folks, because once again, time is flying. Okay. A couple of kids there. Okay, a couple twins. Twins. Is it becoming clear? So what happens is there's gonna be a point where now you narrow it down. As soon as you see this photo, you have narrowed it down. Oh, I got to get my head out of there. Yep. So there we go. Deborah's father is there. Let's see. Okay, well, this is a complete, that'll give it away if I tell it. All right, here we go. Now you have to guess the episode. If you've ever seen Ever's Raymond, you see him, and then you see this. Okay, there we go. Uncle Mel. I can give you the quote from the episode, but you'll know it as soon as I say it. Okay, so now here, it's weird that Patty is so late. Patricia Heaton, there we go, and there we go. So there was a proper guess of turkey or fish. Once you see that, okay, let me see this. This is interesting for Doris, and I usually post these photos, folks. Doris in that outfit, turkey or fish, where Deborah decides to make fish, and there's a lot of discussion about her making fish and a lot of judgment from Marie. Okay, so there you go. Let me taste something from the canister, just so you know. We've been doing this. Oh, okay, my SD card is full. We have been tasting and testing cookies. We started in the writer's room in 2000. I can say 2000. Could have been 1999. It was season 3, season 4, somewhere in there. Jeremy Stevens claimed that Hydrox were better than Oreos, and Phil Rosenthal said this can only be settled one way in a cookie-eating contest of just describing the flavors. So I try and taste a cookie or a biscuit, as you call it. And this, see here, now we have trouble. This was sent to me, and I want to keep their identity safe in case there's a lawsuit. All right, folks, this is a real product. I don't want to try and pronounce it because I don't want to be kicked off the air, and you know it would be bad because there are no rules for being on the air on the internet. So, okay, so that is that delightful treat, which I will now open. Good luck pronouncing that. You can look it up, but it will get you in trouble, especially in mixed company. Okay, so I can't even read. Okay, let me just open this box. Make sure it doesn't. Oh, wow. This is not an inexpensive treat. How can I tell? Individually wrapped. Okay? This is not a Hydrox or an Oreo. Okay, this is going to be multi-layers. So layers. Here we go. Oh, I do want to shout out to, let me see. Let me see this. Scroll back. So I just want to give proper attention to the person that guessed it correctly. And wow, that's how much banter is going on. I may have to go back and give them kudos. Okay, so there we go. This treat, the unpronounceable treat. Okay. A lot of layers. Okay, hold on. My poor keyboard. What would you describe that? A wave of chocolate through a white outer something. I almost dropped it there. And it looks like a chocolate filling. Okay, here we go, folks. Oh wow. I almost lost my own finger tasting that. Light and buttery and subtle. Very subtle. Or as Jeremy Stevens would say, subtle. I think it's a Brooklyn thing. All right, I'm gonna have to try another one, folks. That was wafer thin. And if you're an American who is used to eating a lot of stuff, okay, there we go. Again, good luck with the pronunciation. It's a wafer thin, buttery vanilla with a hint of chocolate on the outside and then a very light chocolate on the inside. Here we go, for those of you who missed it. There we go. I think I washed my hands. Yes, I did. It was yesterday, but I know I washed. Okay, here we go. It's such a unique flavor. And not sweet. It's not sweet, but it's not crazy sweet. I'm going to give this like a 7.4. And here's why. This feels like it would be on your grandmother's table, and you'd be like, well, no, I'm not casting aspersions on grandmothers, but it feels like a treat that you wouldn't get super excited about. It feels like an adult treat if you're a kid. And since I have the mentality of a child, I think that's why I'm endowing it with that, 7.4. But let me know if you guys know how to pronounce this. A very tasty treat, a very civil. It feels very distinguished. It feels like what just happened, which you go, I've never seen this, but I will eat it, and it seems. So there you go, folks. Thank you for the sending. Okay, let's do some final looks. Did I cover all my topics? I think so. Let me check my notes, which I try and keep. I see a lot of banter about the television festival. I posted a thing, Phil Rosenthal posted. You can buy a ticket just for that show. You can also buy a pass for the weekend. A lot of good events, especially if you're a fan of television. Okay, so let's see this. Raymond. Okay, yes, Raymond's facial hair. Here's why I posted that. First of all, I'm not one to brag about my photos, but that is an awesome photo that I took. And the reason I like this photo a lot is because you see Patty and Raymond smiling and seeming to enjoy each other's company, which is true. This was a charity. I can't remember if it was Raymond's charity or the Peter Boyle benefit that Lorraine Boyle does. But here's what I've noted. You're allowed to any opinion. So, and it really, with social media, a lot of people are like, you are correct, Tom, and you're going to hear it. What's interesting is not whether you like Ray's facial hair, or don't like Ray's facial hair. It's interesting the tone that people write. So some people write, Raymond, I prefer you without hair. Could you possibly consider shaving in the future? Because that's how I like you. And then some people write, lose the hair, Ray. And I think in social media, you have to imagine, what would you do if you were talking to that person in person? Would you walk up to Ray Romano and go, you're very talented. I really love you in the show. I like you better without facial hair. Or would you say, walk up to him and go, lose the hair, Ray, and then walk off? So it's interesting to me, that observation of how people interact, because they don't, I don't know whether they don't think, well, first of all, they might be doing that in real life. They might be calling their husband an idiot and saying, lose the hair. But it's very interesting if people are like, well, Ray would never read it, but you just don't know. So an interesting observation. I'm agnostic. Facial hair has become a thing. As you can see, this is my full beard after, as opposed to Johnny's character who can grow a 5 o'clock shadow in like 20 minutes. But I think Raymond looks good with a beard or without a beard. I'm kind of agnostic, but it's more that observation of the tone of the people. So we can continue that vote. By the way, also very nice, Patricia Heaton sticking with the no beard look herself, which I think is courageous. Okay. Final comments, folks. And again, I keep track of all your comments, and then I try and answer them during the week. Ray looks good, doing whatever, wherever. He just keeps getting better with age. I will pass that on to Raymond. Let me see. Kim, Ray looks good. Yes. Bob, let me see. Just jumped into the show. Aloha, everybody. Bob, we're going to need a note from you because you are one of our reliable, always count on people. Watching Crazy Chin now. What's the verdict in Deborah and Ray's kangaroo court? I don't know I don't know what that means. I don't know the answer to that. Crazy Chin, based on Ray's real life brother, who would touch his thing. Is everybody, hi Marie, is everybody planning to get to the exhibit on Long Island on June 7th? Hi everybody. Okay, this is a statement. Let me bring that up so people can read it. Hi everybody, planning to get to the exhibit, Long Island, on June 7th. Long Island Museum of Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame. The Everose Raymond set is there from the TV special. It looks exactly like the TV special, the TV set. It's your once in a lifetime chance to sit on the couch now and to wander around in that kitchen, see a bunch of my photos, see a bunch of trivia about the show. Highly recommend it. See the toaster in person, the only one of its kind. See another, an Emmy, like tons and tons of stuff. Robert Suit, etc. I'll check in here the weekend before in case anyone's going that day. Maxine, where do you live, Maxine? Did you go to Paley? Did you go to the Paley exhibit? Because I recognize your name. Is it possible that you were in the audience for the Paley exhibit live show? That would be nice. That would be nice. Rita Burns, good point, people. Good point, Tom. People get keyboard courage. How have I not heard that term before? I guess it's an old term, and people are going to be like, Tom, how have you not heard that term? And type stuff they typically would never say in person. Rita, it's interesting. It's an interesting trait. I guess they're emboldened by that keyboard courage. Yeah, I guess that. Ray looks good, relaxed during the talk show circuit. I enjoy him. Lynn Van Orden, maybe. Yes, very good. And of course, I posted his first appearance on Carson, which I was attending. So I have to tell that whole story. Pam, Deborah favors a mustache. Yes, if you know the show, you know that's not insulting. That's a callback and a reference. Patricia Heaton is over. How is Patricia Heaton doing nowadays? I guess pretty good. I think Ray looks younger without the beard. The beard ages him. Okay, interesting. Now, Ray did, if you pull up, and I just have so much fun talking to you guys, and I can't wait until I have my next guest here, because we're setting up the studio, which I think looks good, right? Do you guys like how this looks? Let's see. I was there for rehearsal. Ray Romano presenting at the Oscars. Okay, so now, Raymond, somebody posted, Ray Romano looks like, Ray Romano is what is the phrase? A smoke show. Okay, there is Raymond with a beard at the Oscars. So, does he look aged there to you, Lynn, or do you like that look? And you're allowed to hate, again, just like some people like, I don't want to get into that even. I was going to say preferences of people. So, Raymond, you might just hate facial hair, is what I'm saying, no matter who it's on. George Clooney. So, there you go. Raymond at the Oscars, a smoke show presenting. I went to the rehearsal. I did not go to that presentation, but there we go. Okay. Oh, you know what I wanted to post? I think next week I'm going to get into more of that. All right. Final questions, everybody, before we say goodbye until next week. And by the way, if you're going to the Austin, I don't know anything about the Austin show other than we're doing it. It will be exceptionally funny. I think it's at the Paramount Theater, which maybe seats 1,200 people. It will be a fun show, and so we hope that as many people can get there as possible. Okay, scrolling down here. Alfred, thank you. Have a great week. See you next weekend. Yes. Ray looks like a hottie. This is Kim, Dave's wife. Yes, not Dave. Okay, Kim, we know it's not your husband saying Ray looks like a hottie. It just doesn't seem like his language. So fun for a guest visit. Would love to hear about casting. It was so spectacularly good. Yes, I will bring on, yes, we will talk to everybody who had anything to do with casting, etc., because it is a long story. And I will say, he's handsome with a beard, Karen. Yes. I will say that it was a once-in-a-lifetime casting. I Love Lucy, Seinfeld, Mary Tyler Moore. There's a handful of shows where everybody was so unbelievably good and meshed, and it just worked together, and you hate for that show to end. Kim, I love Patricia Heaton, but was too intimidated to talk to her when I saw her in person. Kim, I was right there next to you. I could have made the introduction. Suburban New York. Yes, my son Chris and I were at Paley. Okay, did I erase it? No, there it goes. It's a delay. Suffern, Rockland County. Yeah, where the giant vagina statue, Marie's sculpture, was patterned after there, Rockland County. My son and I. Okay, so Maxine, you were at Paley. You were at that live show. How great was that? And now, one thing that Paley didn't have is the whole set. You know why? It didn't exist yet. We would have tried to get it there if it existed, but it was built 6 months after we started the Paley exhibit. So you will see stuff that you did not see at Paley, but I'm glad that you're a big fan. Anybody, go out there, go to Long Island. It's awesome. It's awesome for photo ops. It's awesome. It's awesome in every way. They're great, and anything that supports the arts is really good. Okay, we will see everybody next week. I love it when you guys jump in and answer questions for other people. I love the civility of the page. I love the civility of all the fans. I block somebody if they're mean to somebody, anything about their looks. You can call somebody an idiot, but it's in the spirit of the show, I guess. So I really, really appreciate when you were like, hey, Tom said that this, or I think that's this. I love that. I really do appreciate it. All right. See you all next week. Thank you, everybody.